my hats go off to our football team, our kids being resilient, being, you know, tough, fighting back from a rough one. I mean, Jerry's got all kinds of darn stats. What happens, Jerry? We just did that for your stats. We don't really care. Our kids came to play. You know, it was a little different. You know, I'm not so sure. Last week we were so high and so excited, and this week we weren't as excited before the game. But we came out and executed against a really good football team. I mean, that offense is no joke. You know, they're a good football team that scored a ton of points a week ago against a fast and athletic South Florida football team. So I'm just proud of our kids. You know, they took coaching. We got a lot of details cleaned up from a week ago. I mean, I thought our special teams played great. Started off our first. You know, we called our Rangers our punt return group. You know, they want to fake a punt, and they do a great job of stuffing it. You know, Jimmy Madura had a great play on that one. He's been a great special teams player for us so far this year. But, you know, and then, you know, even the blocking that we did on the last hands team was excellent, where they couldn't even get to the ball. Took an unbelievable bounce but went out of bounds. So, I'm happy with all three phases. Still in the second half. Some details that we still have to clean up. I mean, just critical penalties at crazy times. I mean, that third down stop in the first drive defensively, you know, I don't think it's a face mask when, you know, last time I looked, the face mask's not up here. It's a fumble. We got the ball. All of a sudden they got a first down and take the drive down for a touchdown. So little things like that we can't continue to do. But we're 1-0 in the ACC. It's where we wanted to be, and we'll work on the next. Questions? Well, I mean, you know, I guess I already started talking about that. It's important. I mean, it's important how we respond, you know. And even at halftime, I talked about maturity and, you know, what are we all about as a football team? Who are we? You know, we're going to, you know, be able to handle the success. I mean, you talk about handling adversity. All of a sudden you have, you know, 30 minutes of success, and can you handle success? And then all of a sudden there's some adversity, and we handled the adversity as well. We get a first down at the end. I mean, in a critical, they got 3 timeouts left with 39 seconds. And our offense did a good job at, you know, eating up the clock and getting a first down, running the ball down their throat. And that's how you win football games. So, you know, it's important to bounce back. I mean, and again, it shows you what kind of football team we've got.
How far into the second, in the halftime, did you know Kenny would come out for the second half?
I knew immediately. I mean, you know, we didn't have any, you know, Kenny, you know, I'm going to, you know, get mad at him. I mean, I think, you know, Rodgers got hurt last week in the NFL game with his plant leg, and that was a plant leg problem there. And he wears a knee brace, as you guys know that have been to practice every day. He wears a knee brace every day in practice, and he'll wear a knee brace. Matter of fact, if any of you guys find out he's not out there with a knee brace on, let me know. But that plant foot is vulnerable, and you know, we did that at Michigan State when I was there. I was the one saying, listen, coach, you know, I get scared our defensive guys getting too close to our quarterback. We got to protect that guy's plant leg, and they've done it for years there, and Kenny's going to wear that knee brace. So we dodged a bullet, really. He's healthy, and you know, but he likes to go run, and he wants to feel clean, but that ain't going to happen. I'll tape that thing to his leg.
Do you feel like he made a lot of progress from last week to this week?
I do. I mean, that was a good football team, and you know, we talked about, you know, possibly making your biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. Well, I don't know if we got challenged in week 1. But we certainly got challenged in week 2, and I think we made some major improvements against a good football team. You know, Georgia Tech's a good football team. I mean, the 3 and outs that our defense pulled up in the first half were incredible. I mean, that was, you know, maybe one of the best defensive performance in the first half as you're going to see. I mean, when you go 3 and out 4 times or whatever it was, 4 of the 6 drives, I mean, that's incredible.
Hey, was that an accumulation of, you talked about practicing against that during over the summer, and then obviously this week, I mean, did you see sort of all that kind of come together?
No doubt about it. I mean, I think our kids felt comfortable. Randy Bates and the defense staff, you know, Rob Harley and Charlie Partridge and Coach Collins and Coach Stein, they all did a great job. They knew what they were doing. We were detailed. I mean, we've looked at 3 years of tape. But again, as much as you stop in the first half, they come out in the second half and they do some different things of motioning out there and getting your numbers and blocking the safety out of a trips formation. And they do some things. So our kids did, you know, we had a couple busts out there in the second half because we adjusted, you know, our coverage a little bit, which I was a little scared to death. I mean, Charlie Partridge comes up and says, hey, I just got to give you a heads up. We're changing something that's drastic. And I was like, oh, golly, really? And a couple guys made some busts on it in a series, but it did help us in the long run. Matter of fact, I think Felipe got a pick on that coverage that we kind of tweaked. So heck of a job by him. Yes.
Hi, Coach. You had 2 players with injuries, light injuries. What are their statuses right now?
I don't talk about injuries. You must be new.
I am new. I saw they walked off the field.
They walked off the field and they both finished the game. So 23-8, they finished the game and they're fine.
5 of 12 on third down. It didn't seem like you were in third and long a lot. You were in third and manageable. Did you feel like that was one area of the offense that maybe didn't rise to your level of expectation?
You know what? You look at it, and we'll see. I mean, I think we threw some balls a little short, even the first third down. Kenny throws it behind him and whatever. But I'm not going to nitpick on those things. We got to get better. Sometimes you have some routes that are run wrong around depth and all that. But we'll take the win.
You have a kid like Kirk go through what he did last week. What was it like to go through that with him and try to get him ready for this game and to see how he performed his bounce back?
Yeah, I don't know what his average was. Looks like 39 yards, 6 punts. But again, it wasn't just him. I mean, I was just excited for all those guys. I mean, that snap is important. We got our holder back. I mean, all those things are important. I mean, the guys get used to being with that same guy. And it was great to see all of them bounce back. I mean, I thought the snaps by Cal were great. Obviously, Jake's holds were great. The kicks were great, and Kirk caught all his punts, which we expect him to do. And so he played well. I think he's just going to continue to get better. And you live and learn. And I'm just glad our guys have learned from the situation. We got over it, and we move on to the next week.
I know they scored on it, but you punt them down him at the 1 yard line. It took a lot of time for them to score, and that ended up being a big factor.
Yeah, it was a long drive. They got us probably the time possession on that 99-yard drive. But they were. I think it was a 2-score game at that time, maybe even 3. But
that's a big
make them earn it.
At the 1 rather than the 20.
Yeah, the 25. Yeah, huge. It was a great stop. Really should have had Aaron Matthews, the other gunner, get down to he should have been the one to down it. We only had one gunner down there. So just little details like that maybe you don't see. You go, oh, that's a great job. Aaron, go all the way to the goal line and make sure you stop the ball. It's a sky punt, pooch kick.
In your all's first 3 games this season, you all have scored 60 points in the first half, to 3 in the second half. What do you explain sort of that drastic difference, and what are you seeing in the second half offense, but it just isn't quite up to par?
I think it's just details of a call, details of a execution. I mean, it just takes one guy to mess a play up, we should we turn we get a sudden change situation. We got the ball. Felipe gets the ball on an interception, and we got the ball at the 30. We throw a pick. I mean, it's those things, drive stoppers that we've got to continue to clean up. There's always something. But again, give the defense credit for making some adjustments as well, and maybe doing some things better.
The Braves in games too, the rest of the season.
Yeah, I thought he was. I mean, me and Coach Watson talked about it yesterday about practice in games. Me and Coach Watson talked about it probably last night or something, like, hey, Kenny wants to wear, Kenny doesn't want to wear the knee brace. And I'm like, hey, don't care what Kenny wants to do. Kenny's going to wear that knee brace. And then when he went down, I'm like, Coach Watts, where's his knee brace at? And again, I don't look for knee braces. I don't check to see if guys are wearing gloves. I got to be the equipment police.
Your defense seemed to do a good job forcing Marshall to really go through his progressions and get the ball out of his hands on the pitch. Was that just, everybody sticking to their keys on those plays?
It was. I mean, there was some great discipline going on, and they changed some blocking again. We call it a tark block, where they arc release the offensive tackle to get Wirginis, who was so active in the lane, in the quarterback lane. So they started arc releasing him, and so just again another great job again by Paul Johnson, just adjusting what we're getting in the pitch lane with the mic, and our kids did a great job executing option football. We've got to be disciplined.
Has been extremely consistent for 3 games. How do you feel like he's better than he was a year ago, or just what's leading to him being so consistently good?
You know what? I can't tell what it is, by just the naked eye. I mean, number one, it starts with his attitude. He's got a great attitude. He's become a leader. Our guys obviously chose him as a game captain. Our captains did. He's just taken over. He's come a long way. And I tell you what, Darren Hall had some great runs as well. I mean, Darren Hall, I was like, keep running that guy too. It's like you wish you could play both of them at the same time. Darren Hall is a great back, and both those guys, we want to get both of those guys going. And I think really Darren Hall had a great game too. I don't know what he rushed for. Looks like 29 yards on just 7 carries. So Darren Hall's a great back too.